So I'm giving away this A7 Pro. All you need to do is look in the description below and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. So firstly, let's do an unboxing of the Umidigi A7 Pro to see what we get in the box. So firstly, you get this thank you card, and underneath it there is the Umidigi A7 Pro phone. So let's keep it to the side and see what else is inside the box. So here we have the manuals and the SIM card key, as well as a USB charger, which is a USB Type-C charger, and of course a wall plug. And the phone itself comes with a leather case on it, which is a very nice addition for a phone that costs only £100 in the UK. I mean, a leather case with a phone like that is always welcome. So what you get is the Umidigi phone, the leather case of course, and you have a USB-C cable and the wall charger. So here is the phone itself, and it's quite impressive how they designed this phone with only this budget in mind. It is also quite surprising that the phone has a quad camera setup. Yeah, a quad camera setup for 100 quid only. The phone also retains the beloved headphone jack. I mean, there's so many manufacturers that got rid of it, but this phone still has it. And of course you have the volume rockers and the lock button on the side. And on the other side you have the SIM card tray on the metal rails that surround the phone. And on the front we have a U-shaped notch, and the screen has a glass screen protector pre-installed on it, which is great for this price. So far I'm really quite impressed with what Umidigi could do with 100 quid only. The design is quite amazing for this phone. I mean, the screen is really nice, the size of it is really good, and what I noticed that the screen is really clear. It's a 180p panel, and as you can see here, I'm going to zoom into the screen and the text look really sharp, and I'm surprised with the screen quality of this phone. So let's go over the specs here and let's see what Umidigi could pack in inside this bad boy with only 100 quid in mind. So for the screen we have a Full HD 6.3 LCD panel, and for the processor we have the Helio P32 with the Mali G71 GPU, and in the RAM department we have 4GB of RAM, and of course we have 64 or 128GB of storage based on the phone you buy. So now let's talk about the 4 cameras that we have on this phone. So firstly, the main shooter is 16 megapixels, as well as the ultra wide, and of course we have a macro shooter which is a 5 megapixel macro shooter, and we have a depth sensor for autofocus. I'm really surprised that they managed to pack 4 cameras inside this phone. I mean, it's quite insane for the price of this phone. So now let's talk about gaming, and let's run a popular game and see how this phone could handle it. I chose here the Call of Duty Mobile, which is one of the best games on mobile right now. So let's see how this phone handles it. So this phone runs the game on the medium graphic settings and the high frame rates. So the phone gives very good frame rates and decent graphics for the £100 price tag on this phone. I mean, this is insane. And so I'm going to show you some gameplay of me playing Call of Duty Mobile. And as you can see here, the frame rate is quite good. I'm guessing the frame rate is above 30 FPS because it's really smooth when playing, and I really enjoyed playing Call of Duty Mobile with it. I mean, for 100 quid you could do some decent gaming here and there, and you could play some casual games as well as some AAA games like Call of Duty, and it's really nice that you could play for only this much. This gives so much access to gaming for so many players, and I'm really surprised that this phone could handle gaming like that for this price tag. It kinda shocked me. I gotta give them credit for putting this GPU inside this phone for only £100. Okay, so let's talk about the cameras for a second, because a lot of people will say, yeah, the phone has triple cameras or quad cameras, but doesn't really do a good job. I mean, the price tag is 100 quid. Will the phone perform in the camera department? So let's get the channel mascot here and try to take photographs with every camera that the phone has. So the first one I'm going to try, of course, is the macro camera. I don't really like them that much, but they provide a different perspective. As you can see here, you can really zoom into the pictures, and it gave me a decent picture here. You can zoom into it and see a lot of details that you can't see with the naked eye. So I gotta give them props for that. So let's go to the main camera, which is the main shooter here, which is the one you would mostly use, of course. And this one is quite decent. It gave me very nice pictures in very good lighting conditions. And I mean, the details are retained. As you can see here, the spikes of the actual mascot it's really nice. And here is the ultra wide. I was surprised with the ultra wide because it has no autofocus mode. You can't focus with it. I mean, if you're outside, you could take some decent shots with it, but inside, when there's harsh lighting conditions, as you can see here, the behind, I wanted to focus on the actual mascot, but I couldn't, and it came out a bit blurry and noisy, but it does the job if you're outside. And let's see how it does, of course, in night mode, because a lot of you will see there's night mode that came with new phones, and this phone doesn't have night mode. So as you can see here, it would detect that it's night, but it wouldn't really do anything. I took a picture with night mode and it came out quite noisy and it's really unusable. However, the phone does have a flashlight at the back, so you could take pictures with a flashlight, and you could take some decent ones because the flashlight would provide enough light for the camera to take good pictures. It would have been nice if they added a longer shutter for night mode, but this time it's not here. So now let's talk about the day-to-day usage of this phone. The fingerprint is very decent. I really like it. It's really fast. And scrolling across the UI is quite fast. I have Nova Launcher installed here. I don't like the main launcher that they have with this phone, so I installed Nova Launcher and advise you to do that. So of course here is Instagram, and I'm going to close it and show you how long it takes to run the app. It's not very long for a cheap phone like that, and scrolling through Instagram is quite a breeze. It's not a problem at all for this phone. It handles it quite well. The social media experience of this phone is not bad at all. You could use it, definitely use it with Snapchat, Instagram, of course, Twitter. It does handle them very well, as well as YouTube. And of course, here's my Instagram account if you want to follow it. And here's the Twitter, of course. It takes a little bit longer than a normal phone to run, but I mean, this phone is only for £100. And it runs Twitter without any problems. I'm really surprised with it. I mean, if you want to follow me on Twitter, here is TA Tech on Twitter as well as Instagram. So give me a follow there, so you'll be caught up with the latest content and of course the giveaways. So that's it for me, guys. This is the Umidigi A7 Pro. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe, and peace.